Yam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May God protect both teacher and student. May He nourish us together. May we work together with great energy. May our studies be enlightening. May there be no hate among us. Om, peace, peace, peace. All right, so any questions, any clarifications that you may need? Subject that we spoke last time or any other from previous talk?
Acharya ji, last class, it was clear by your wisdom and Kapilji's life example how to guide the children. I want to get clarity about how to look after aged parents or in-laws, because children, they are just like a soil, or they can see and follow, but sometimes there is a miscommunication or misunderstanding. It creates a trouble in the family. So no children, it is not that children are not, there is no emotion or something, but there, because of the misunderstanding that creates between aged parents and children, it disasters comes, like they get separated, many things happen. So how to go about it, if you say something else?
When you say aged parents or aged in-laws, when you say aged, do you mean they are really old?
Means not old, not according to age they are old, because maybe there is a generation gap, if you may want to say that. So how to bridge that gap?
You have to use your own wisdom. When they are right,
That is,
follow
I am
them.
lacking.
When they are right, follow them. When you think they are not right and you are right, convince them.
Okay.
You know, the question of you saying you are right, you have to be neutral, and not that you say you are right out of your ego. But if you are genuinely right in certain matters and they have different opinion, you should be in a position to convince them that your opinion is the correct one. And when their opinion is correct, you should be honest enough to accept it and follow it.
But convincing them is very difficult, I find.
Yeah, so you have to use some practical situation whereby they practically see what is right and what is not right.
Okay.
But it's sometimes the aged parents, and when I say aged parents, I mean really old, when most faculties of their senses are not as accurately operating as the youth. So in that case, they are equivalent to children. They are probably either innocent or ignorant, same as children. So when either of these, either they are innocent or ignorant because of their lack of exposure to the so-called modern society and lifestyle, they have their own opinion and their own old school thought about the lifestyle, and you may have different. You have to balance it out, and there are all kind of compromises on both sides.
There is a confusion. Is it right that they become children, or because of their ignorance or because of their ego, they don't want to understand the situation, the development or advancement? They are not ready to accept that. Is it that they become children, like children? There is my confusion.
No, I mean, I don't mean that they have only ego issue. I mean childlike, because if you compare the behavior or body language of children, and when I say children, I mean infants below age of 5. And when I say old age, I mean above 75. Generally speaking, they become adamant, both children and the aged parents, they become adamant in the sense, if you try to feed a child and you think this is a healthy food to offer, and you're trying to feed it, child may not like it. Child do not have taste for that food, and child would refuse to eat it, and they remain adamant not to eat it. Similarly, the aged parent, if you try to feed something and offer some food that you think is right, they may not like it, and they become adamant not to eat it. In that sense, I would say they become childlike. They have the same quality of children of being adamant, that they wouldn't agree with what you say. That's an example.
Okay.
But this is the situation whereby one has to find a fine balance and compromise on both sides.
Okay.
These are the practical situation whereby you have to use your own wisdom and find an answer to it.
Okay.
Now, Acharya ji, yes, Chitali.
Yeah, I have done. Done. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
So now in these situations, generally when I look at the spontaneous behaviors, I feel that if there is any God, so it is there in the spontaneous acts of people, because probably if they are not acting out of the ego, but probably because of their intuition, whatever they are doing, and is closest to the frequencies they are in. I do not know. But then in such cases, when, like Chetali is saying, when you have to deal with children or the elderly, so you have to be diplomatic. That means you will have to be, you will have to leave your spontaneity and what comes from your inner essence, and then change and mold and manipulate certain things.
Yeah.
This
Now,
is
how
the
to decide
challenge.
there's a fix. How to decide which way to go? Stay as you are or manipulate?
This is the thing. This manipulation or diplomatic. If I've like we have learned Patanjali Yoga Sutra, so this manipulation, diplomatic, if we would like to avoid, because yogic life doesn't allow you to be manipulated and diplomatic. What we have learned from Acharya ji. What did you say? Even from your inside, you should be pure. Isn't it, Acharya ji?
Well, if you're comparing your mundane activity of living life in this world and you want to stay in this worldly lifestyle and yet follow the yogic way of living, it would be like walking on sword's edge, because each time you will be facing challenges. And so therefore, yogic life is only when you develop detachment in the attachment. And that was, I was thinking of the subject for today. When you develop kind of a detachment while you are having affection for your children or your elderly people, but yet you should let them be on their own. Detach yourself emotionally, if not otherwise, especially emotionally. Do not be disheartened or feel stressed out by their behavior or their conversation, because as Aditi said, that they have their own experiences of life and they would try to live the rest of their life based on what they have been living, and not very happy to change that and follow the so-called new lifestyle. So knowingly or unknowingly, the youth or the people who are not reached that level of aged category of aged parent, their tendency and their mentality of lifestyle is definitely different. You may like to follow, as you just said, that you like to keep in mind and be aware of following yogic life or Patanjali's yogas, whereas your children or your parents or in-laws have no exposure on that, and therefore they cannot value it, and therefore they cannot understand you, and therefore they will stick to their own way of whatever is their opinion about the subject. And that's when you find this difference of opinion or difference of attitude. But you have to understand it, their point of view. You have been studying or you have been exposed to this values of yogic life or whatever, spirituality. Not necessarily the children and those elderly people are to that extent exposed and aware of it, which is fair enough, which is fine. You cannot have every single individual with the same spiritual value as you have. So there bound to be some amount of, difference in opinion, difference in lifestyles or values. As I always said, you should be first and foremost concerned about your growth, your spiritual growth. You are responsible for your own spiritual growth and none others. You may let them know what is right and what is not right in worldly activity or lifestyle or spirituality speaking. But if they don't understand, don't follow it, and do not realize it, that's okay. That's their choice and that's their karma. You cannot say that is wrong or that is not correct. No, they are correct in their own way. Do not make judgment of who is right and who is not right. You stick to your values, you stick to your wisdom, you stick to your upliftment or spiritually.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, so very important is, Chaitali,
Yes.
is that these are the things in day-to-day life that you have to be aware and adopt your values, your wisdom, and what you have understood about the life and the spiritual life. Do not worry so much about who thinks what and what do they do, or how do they behave. That's their karma, that's there. Provided you are sure what you're doing is right. Therefore, I said, maintain a balance. We have to play our role. As Bhagavad Gita says, play your role. If you have children around you, be a role model for them. And similarly, if you have elderly people at home or around you, give them inspiration, give them also a role model by leading a life of dharma or living life of wisdom.
The aged people can accept the younger role model?
Absolutely. 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 And if they don't, then it is their issue, then it is their creating new karma, about not accepting. It's not the person which is important. It is the values that you adopt. We are not giving importance to an individual or a person, but the quality that you have is what one should appreciate. Now, the quality, a younger generation or youth or children may have such quality that adults don't have it. There is no question of 10 years younger to you or 20 years younger to you. It is question of that quality, what they have, which you are lacking, which you do not have. And you must appreciate it. And you try to follow if it is the quality that you need to develop. So it's not a person. So when there is no question of person, there is no question of age. It could be a child, it could be elderly, whoever.
So you show the path so that in future, when we will become aged, we should not like disturb others or hurt others. How to lead our lives so that we follow the every time without disturbing others. Is it possible? Like my question is, will we become the same when we will be aged, or there can be?
It all depends of your lifestyle now. It all depends kind of values and wisdom that you cultivate now. And based on that is what will happen when you have, let's say, 10 years later or 20 years later. It's nothing would change drastically. Is your sanskara, is your tendency that you have continues. Your physical ability may reduce, your mental ability may reduce, but your attitude may not change. May not change. People say with time things change. Of course that it changes, but it's only things that are changing, not your attitude and mental values. It's like today you have certain values of following yogic lifestyle or whatever. 20 years later, probably it will develop much more. You will be much more stricter about it. You must be maybe much more deep into it. Or vice versa. You may just decide to drop it and do not pursue further. In either case, it all depends on your lifestyle now. What you do now is what will happen subsequently.
So how should we adopt that kind of lifestyle, or how should we know which is the right lifestyle so that we won't like we'll be my question is, the way aged people create disturbance, we won't do that. How should we follow that lifestyle?
Very easy,
Which
very
one?
simple, very easy and simple. Do not expect things beyond reasonable amount. Expect only what is absolutely necessary for your living life. Otherwise, base your lifestyle on the mode of accepting situation, accepting the relationship, accepting the circumstances that you are into. Just accept it. That's number one. Number two, accept it with the smiling face. Do not grumble about it. Do not complain about things. Just accept it with smiling face. And the third, do not preach and do not advise people who do not appreciate, because they are living their style of life based on their karmic account. You can only point it out what you think is right and live it. So as you grow old, as you should become a wise in the sense, wiser in the sense of spirituality. Let everything happen as it's supposed to happen. Do not stick to your own values about, because you have followed certain things. Now, probably with the time, things have changed. I'm talking about day-to-day material life. I'm not talking about spirituality. There is no change in spirituality. It is absolute truth, which you have to remain absolutely fixed and adamant about. But as far as relative truth are concerned, which is what we encounter day-to-day in our life, be flexible. As you grow 20, 30 years later, your children or your family members may say something. You may not probably like it, but accept it. But accept it.
Acharya ji.
Yes.
Actually, I wanted to know something about the Karma Yoga in daily life. Thursday, I was asking, what is Karma Yoga in our daily life? How to maintain it?
Very simple and easy. Whatever that you are doing, do as best of your ability and put your total effort into doing whatever you have to do, whichever role you are performing. When you are home, you are performing the role of a mother or a wife or a sister or a grandmother, whatever it is, do your best. When you are at workplace, if you are in the career building or in some kind of profession, put your best effort to the best of your ability. That's point one. Point two, do not expect rewards or appreciation or result. Let whatever happen, let it happen. Whatever result, whatever reward, whatever appreciation comes to you, just let it be. Neither you are too excited about it, nor you are depressed about it. Just be neutral, whatever is the reward or result. And either case, whether you are appreciated or not, take that as a prasad from the Lord, from your higher consciousness. When I say Lord, there is nothing outside you. It's your own higher consciousness. It's your own pure spirit. Take it as a prasad from that. That is what you deserve, and therefore you got it. You may have put the best effort, but your reward may not be equivalent to your expectation. So first drop your expectations, accept it with smiling face, and take it as a gift from your guru, God, your higher self, whatever name you give. That's all you do. That's Karma Yoga. That's only Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is not that you must do hard working and put 10 hours, 12 hours of work. You may work 1 hour a day, but that 1 hour should be so productive, so completely 100% of your engagement, your total input in that whatever work that you do. And then leave it. Then that's it. After you put your effort or your work, after that, your job is over. Whatever comes out of it, accept it, take it as a prasad and leave it, continue. Very simple and easy to follow Karma Yoga. Whatever, when I say every single thing, you're driving a car, your job is to drive your car as best as you can, follow the rules, follow the law. Beyond that, what happens, despite your best thing, there are certain things that may not go right. Accept it and take it as either reward or a punishment.
Acharya ji, but sometimes we just fall in some fix. We can't understand what to do, what not to do. So how that situation will be tackled? I may be very much trying my hard to do it as my effort and ability, but sometimes it happens that I am falling in some fix. I'm stuck to something. No decision, nothing is I can take. So what to do that time? How
Do
Karma Yoga? helps us that time.
Do the deep breathing for a while and stay neutral. Do not make judgment and accept whatever it is, whatever situation you are into, accept it. That's it. When you remain neutral without any judgment and as if you are the third person and not the first party or the second party, not the doer or not the giver, but the one who is witnessing it. Remain the witness. It could be difficult, but that's it. Things do change. Things have their own, all that happens, every time, everything that happens for a purpose. It is our problem that we expect certain things and result is different, or situation is different. It's not different. That is how it's supposed to be. It was your fault that you expected other things. So believe and accept the divine design of whatever is happening, whatever is manifesting, whatever is unfolding. Every day we have new circumstances. It's not that you have created it. It just unfolds it that way because that is what it's supposed to happen. Now you trying to be stressed out about it and say, this cannot happen, this must not happen. It's just because you expected it not to happen. And your expectations are based on many other factors. It could be your anger, your fear, your ego, your lust, your desires, whatever. Drop your expectation, accept it, and things will turn around. Things may not turn around so much as you will turn around. You will come to a terms that it's okay. It's okay that you get stuck and not able to find answer on certain subjects or certain situation. That's okay. It can happen.
But Acharya ji, developing accepting attitude, won't people will think that it is my weakness? We will won't we become more docile and people will start taking us for granted? Always if we accept everything, whatever it happens.
When I say accept, I do not mean that you become a doormat. People can't come and rub on you. I don't mean it. You raise your point and let, whenever circumstances, let people around you come to know what is your opinion and what is right according to you. After that, drop it. Let people think what they want to think. After all, you are not concerned about everybody in the society. You are concerned about yourself, first and foremost. In that sense, it is 100% good to be selfish, because after all, you are here, you have taken this birth, you are in these circumstances for your own spiritual evolution. That's your journey. If you do not follow that and you start talking about everybody else and thinking about what people will think, then you are away from your own dharma. And that is how the Gita, the entire Gita starts based on this. Arjuna said, how can I kill my own people? You see? And the Lord explains that you think that you are killing. You are not killing. You are sticking to your dharma. You are trying to protect your own values of life and your spirituality. Whether whoever in front of you, it could be your grandpa, your uncles, your relations, your brothers, whoever. Remember, after all these relationships are God-made, man-made. We have named them. Ultimately, we are all individuals. So do not worry so much about who thinks about your being right or following certain lifestyle. Do not worry. These are the mind conditioning and taboos that mankind have created and part of the society. And you have to face it. There will be a time, circumstances will change. And that's why they say that you follow right things, universe will come forward to help you sooner or later. You need to have patience.
That's all I had. Another question, though you have earlier explained about dhyana and dharana, will you speak about little more about difference between dhyana and dharana?
What have you understood so far?
I feel both are the same. It is focusing on something. I couldn't make out the difference, dhyana and dharana.
So
It is what is my understanding. You taught us now that holding flower and focus on that. So dharana is that holding something, and dhyana is focusing on that flower. That is the way we.
yes and no, both, because in dharana, for instance, if I ask you to close your eyes and chant Om, first 5 times bit louder, then next 5 times bit slower, and third 5 times just in your mentally without verbalizing it. That becomes your dharana. Okay. But after doing 5 times each, it means 15 times of chanting, indulging completely into that, what happens? And you stay in the focus of that chant, that energy becomes dhyana. So the same, let us say, affirmation, whatever it is, the chanting of Om, watching your breath, looking at your third eye, bringing attention to your Vishuddhi chakra or Anahata chakra, your heart chakra, wherever, whatever, there are hundreds of methods of dharana. Whichever you select, stay on it for a longer period of time, that is dharana. So dharana is holding on to something. Dhyana is to continue holding it for longer time. But mind it, the major difference is at the time of dharana, you may have different disturbances of thoughts, because let's say you are focusing on your breath with your eyes closed. While watching your breath, you may have different thoughts which will happen. Hold on to that dharana until that disturbance of thought reduces. And it only engages in watching what you are whatever subject you are watching, whether it's breath or chanting or looking at candlelight, for instance, whatever that is your dharana, stay completely focused. And once you are established in focusing so completely, then stretch it longer. Hold that dharana for a longer period of time, which is called dhyana.
So, if I may summarize, dharana is more of physical manifestation, it's more with the body, and dhyana is more internal.
Yes. Dhyana is more going into you and remain focused on that dharana. But remember, it is not all that easy. What we are doing is only kind of a practice and demonstration. ultimately, dhyana should become effortless. Only then it is dhyana. If you are putting a forcing upon holding on to dharana, then it is not dhyana, because you're mentally still occupied. You are putting effort. You are still within the boundary of this physical realm. Dhyana is transcending the thoughts, the number of thoughts. Stay with one particular and here it's not necessary that you have particular dharana. You can have any dharana. You can be admiring a flower. That's why I said hold a flower and keep watching that. That's your dharana. But stay so intensely focused on it and hold that for a longer period of time, which is dhyana. While holding the dhyana, that should come as effortless as possible. I feel like sharing my experience here about in one of my early time when I was doing meditation. I think it was sometime in, I don't know, many years ago. I was, not I, but we were a group of people, we were asked to hold the flower in hand in Samadhi Mudra. So your Samadhi Mudra, when you put your palms together, your thumb, you have a particular flower on your palm. And our master said, your only job is to look at the flower with your eyes open. Look at the flower with eyes open and watch until you notice every aspect of that flower. Everything. Not only the flower as flower. Do not just finish watching flower by saying, oh, this is a rose flower, red rose. Over. No. That's not over. Yes, it is red rose, that name you are given. But what is it? The size, the shape, the color, the touch of it, the softness of it, the aroma of it, or the fragrance of it. And if there is a water dew on it, every aspect of that flower, watch it so intensely. And after that, close your eyes. After that, close your eyes. And once you close your eyes, so that becomes your dharana. Yeah, the flower, watching it so intensely, and then close your eyes, and you are looking at the flower with eyes closed, which is your dharana. And say, stay with that. Try to visualize every aspect of flower with your eyes closed once again. Basically, recalling what you watched. And when you hold on to it, that becomes dhyana. And this was going on for almost a week. Same thing, every day, same, every day, same, every day, same thing for a week. I remember 1 week later, I was holding it, watching it, and I don't know what time passed. My master, somebody whacked me up from my shoulder, shook me up, and they shook me so hard that I had to wake up and I opened my eyes. And then I realized my shirt, my t-shirt was completely wet. And there was a perspiration all over my face. And I could not identify, I could not recognize people sitting around me. I could see them, I could see that there were some people, but I could not place them that this is so-and-so, that is so-and-so. I was lost for some time. Then slowly I was getting all right, I was getting back. And after the class got over, the master said, never ever do this by yourself. Don't do it. Stop this practice. Because we were supposed to do this practice ourselves at home or wherever. The meditation of the dhyana. He said, don't do it. He said, why? What happened? He said, you do not know, but I had to bring you back because you were out of your body. And I realized that I think I saw myself. I thought it was normal. This will happen to everybody. I didn't know that this is unusual. But I told him at that point of time when he was narrating my condition, I said, yes, I saw myself sitting on the floor and I was on the wall, one of the hooks or whatever there. And I could see me sitting down there. He said, yes, I know that. But you were also struggling to get back into body. You were unable to come back. And I could realize that, and I had to wake you up. And then this may happen again. So do not do it again. I was here, I could help you, I could wake you up and brought you back. But if you are doing it by yourself alone, you will continue struggling to come back. That's all happened. So there are things that one should practice it in presence of somebody who can watch. But this is the result of you getting completely engrossed. First, you must surrender to your master. You must surrender. You must follow 100% what master tells you to do without any question. Just follow. That's number one. Number two, give your best and hold on to dharana intensely. And rest, you do not have to do anything. Then things will happen. So dharana, dhyana, what we do is just kind of getting to know about it, but actual practice, you have to hold on to it. The entire 45-minute class that we do with so many asanas and pranayamas and whatever we do, is we trying to put everything into it. Time should come when you all should be ready to just spend all 40 minutes or 45 minutes sitting doing nothing. And when I said nothing, completely nothing, just only inhalation, exhalation, which will go on, which is beyond your control. Other than that, no movement, no complete silence, stillness, and stay particular dharana, hold on to it, hold on to it, hold on to it. It will take maybe a couple of minutes or little longer that you are mentally aware that you are holding on to dharana. After that, it will be effortless. You will be just sitting there and not doing anything. So dharana itself is doing something. And dhyana should become doing nothing. Effortless. Remain being. And after that, the time comes when you come into the state known as turiya, the fourth state. And beyond that is the samadhi.
What is Turiya exactly? Is it can explain or it is just like Samadhi?
Turiya is a very technical term. Is that actually in English it is known as the fourth state. What is the fourth state? Why it is fourth state? What are those three states? Three states are wake up, like how we are right now. We are awake. That's one state. Second state is when you are sleeping, but you are not into deep sleep. You are still conscious. You are probably dreaming something. So dream state is the second state. And third is when you are in deep sleep, delta sleep, when you are not conscious of your body, mind, nothing what you are aware of, not surrounding, nothing. You just, which is what is known as the shavasana, where you are aware of nothing and just breathing happens. That's the third state. And the fourth state is the bridge between the third and samadhi. So third stage is when you are into delta sleep, where absolute, without any awareness. You are just like a dead body lying on the floor or on your bed, without any dream, nothing. You are into deep sleep. Turiya is the bridge between that state and samadhi. Now, what is samadhi? Samadhi is the one which can go on for few days, weeks, months, years. Your deep sleep does not go on for long. It can go on for maybe half hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 6 hours, whatever. Whereas Turiya is in between that. It's a bridge between that deep sleep and samadhi, where you transcend this physical realm and try to experience the abode of love, abode of light, abode of pure consciousness. But that remains a short. You touch upon it and you fall back to the consciousness. But that Turiya state of maybe half a minute or 1 minute is what people are trying. All this yogic life, people are trying only to feel, to touch that point of Turiya. That is called fourth state. So wake up state, dream state, deep sleep state, and the fourth is Turiya state.
Acharya ji, you talked about dream state. So I know some people, whenever, like at night, every day during the sleeping time, lot of dreams they will have. So what is the reason behind that?
Dream is nothing but your recalling all your experiences of past, or when I say experiences, may have materialized, may not have materialized, but mentally you have certain pictures about certain things which have either materialized or not materialized. In either case, you have built certain image in your mind. Yeah. And this is what is also known as your subconscious mind. You have built that image and it stays. Without you knowing, it surfaces suddenly at some point of time. And that's a dream. So you may be sleeping, only thing is jumbled. It does not follow the sequence. So you may have seen either in this lifetime or many other previous lifetimes, certain images. A weird figure, for example, a weird looking animal, or weird looking flower, or weird looking whatever, or fancy house or car or whatever. You have seen it. And you have also seen different other objects and other expectations you may have. A beautiful holiday, for example. Now, all this gets jumbled and it manifests in your dream. So in a dream, you may not have a right sequence. You may be watching yourself into a beautiful holiday spot, and suddenly you also see somebody or something which is back home in a different place. Yeah. Now, actually, it does not make sense. You are at a different spot, enjoying different holiday, which your dream holiday, and at the same time, same frequency, you also see something which is completely unrelated. It is completely unrelated in the dream, but it was there in your mind at some point of time. And that's what happens. So the dream is never in the sequence. It is always jumbled. And when you wake up, you say, what a weird dream. It is weird because it is not following the so-called sequence that you expect. But it's basically your own. Either you have witnessed it, you have encountered it, or mentally expected it. When I say expected it, either expected it or did not expect it. But you thought about it. You have certain amount of thought have gone into some situation, subject, object, and that manifests in dream.
Because of too much attachment towards the day that whatever activity we go through, so it happens. Dream happens.
Yeah. When you say attachment, what is attachment? Attachment is the link of what is happening and what is your expectation. What it connects, then it is attachment. Yeah, you wanted a particular let's say character to perform in a particular manner, and if he performs in that manner, you have that connection, and that's attachment. That's the connection. When that does not happen, your expectations are not met. In either case, that comes as a dream sequence. When it is it may not happen right there and then or same day. It can happen many other days or many days later. But it is registered in your subconscious mind.
Acharya ji, regarding dreams, I should ask one question. We say dreams comes true. That is true?
Well, it all depends on how much attention or attachment you have given to that particular subject or object of your dream. If it is there, then it will follow. It can come through. But it's not important that what you dream and what comes through. What is more important is that you must not have time to dream about it, in the sense, put total 100% of your effort onto something what you want to have and live it. Try that and see whether you're getting any dream. There is a possibility you do not get, because you have expected nothing. So where is the question of dream? You do not want, you do not expect. You're just performing your role. You are just doing whatever is required to do. And that's it. Surely, of course, dream will continue for some point of time, because it's your previous, whatever garbage you have in your subconscious mind will come. But from now onwards, it will change.
But you do work on that's continuously and deeply understand whatever that you want to do, whatever you taking dreams, that may be true if you focus on that 100%.
Yeah. In that case, you do not, it's not only in dream, even when you are when you are awake, when you are in your daytime, if you put 100% of your things will turn around, things will change. If things will not change, at least you will change.
I'm talking about those dreams. Because of that, we get a disturbed sleep. How to get rid of this dream habit? Is there any process?
Do your Guru pranayama before sleeping. Drink a glass of water, glass of warm water before sleep. Do little breathing exercises and smile. Smile, look at everybody and smile and go to sleep.
Which pranayama you told?
You can do best is Kapalbhati, if you can.
Okay.
Best is Kapalbhati.
Kapalbhati can I do after eating?
No, not after eating. No, you need to have 2 hours, but you can't be eating before sleeping.
No, I'm saying what will be the gap between 3 hours?
Depending on amount of food you take, but if average food what you take, give yourself 2.5 hours minimum.
Okay.
You must not eat after sunset, because if you, I don't know, I mean, individually people sleep, I don't know what time, but usually you should finish your eating at least 3 hours before sleeping. So yoga is not only about our asanas and pranayama, it's also about your food habit, your diet, your sleep. It's a very integral part of yoga. That is why Patanjali first contributed his major role in formalizing the Ayurveda. So he has written enough literature, or produced enough literature about Ayurveda. When I say produce, he did not personally did it, but that time there was no method of writing. It was always verbal, oral instructions, and much later in the lineage, people would write it down, but he worked upon Ayurveda first and then Yoga Sutra. Good, this was good session. I like this. My plan was to talk about detachment in attachment, but that was okay. This is good. Because I want everybody to get involved. Everybody should start, if not not sharing, but at least, raising the points, because that's indicates that you are giving some time to this subject and thinking, contemplating. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Acharya ji.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Acharya ji.
Thank you,
very much.
Ajay.
Thank you, Acharya ji.
Next
Thank
class
you.
we will learn detachment and attachment.